Ethiopia's capital has the semblance of calm, but Addis Ababa is a city fearing this is the prelude to a storm which is gathering on its doorstep. It's one of Africa's most important cities, home to the headquarters of the UN and the African Union. Yet its 6 million residents have been told to arm themselves by the government in a last-ditch defense against Tigrayan rebels who are just 200 miles away.
ኢትዮጵያ ብታሸንፍ ይሻለኛል የድርድር ጊዜም አይመስለኝም ብዙ ሰው
1 year ago, the Ethiopian government's million-strong army launched an offensive against rebels in Tigray in a war in which all sides have been accused of war crimes. But Ethiopia's army collapsed and Tigray's rebels are now threatening to take the capital by force, causing global concern. I spoke with the president of Zambia, who was visiting London.
What do you think will be the consequences for the whole region and Africa if Ethiopia were to be plunged into a full-scale civil war?
The Ethiopian situation is not an Ethiopian situation per se. It's a situation afflicting all of us and the globe. Some will be injured and be maimed permanently, impairing their ability to any livelihood to look after themselves, to look after their families.
Just 2 years ago, Ethiopia's Prime Minister was the darling of the international community, awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his reforms. Now he stands on the brink of defeat and exile. It's left US diplomats stunned and scrambling to avoid a battle for the capital.
The Horn of Africa is a critically important region, and it looked like it was going from a very troubled region to one of great promise. This is what drives me absolutely crazy, is it is a needless war. Every rape, every murder, every farmer left without being able to plant his field is an absolute unnecessary tragedy.
Tens of thousands have already fled this war, but this is the tip of what could be a far bigger crisis. With a population of 110 million, 5 times the size of Syria, a full-scale civil war in Ethiopia could easily become the biggest global humanitarian crisis in decades.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. ወንድም ህዝብ የሆነው የግብጽ ህዝብ በፍጹም የመጉዳት ሐሳብም ፍላጎትም የሌለን መሆኑ
وليست لدينا خير وشكرا
والله
I said tell me
والله لن نقوم بأي ضرر لن نقوم بأي ضرر للمياه في مصر مصر وبأكد من خلال تأكيد فخامة الرئيس لأن هو زي ما انت شفتوا كده كان بيكلمني دايما ويقول لي والله لن تجد ضرر مننا فأنا حبيت ان انتوا تسمعوها منه وأنا بشكره عليها وانت سترى من المصريين برضو والله لن نضر بكم أبدا إن شاء الله. شكرا فخامة الرئيس.
Previously known internationally as a man of peace, he has now put his country on a war footing. The Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed says he will bury his government's enemies with blood. That as rebel Tigrayan forces and their allies threaten to advance on the Ethiopian capital.
Ethiopia will not collapse. Ethiopia will prosper. Ethiopia will exist forever honorably by defeating all who test her through the blood and bones of her children.
A call by Abiy Ahmed to bury the enemy, in a statement posted on his Facebook page last weekend, was removed by the platform for violating its policies against inciting and supporting violence. A joint UN human rights investigation reported on Wednesday that all sides in the current conflict have committed abuses which may amount to crimes against humanity and war crimes.
The Nobel Peace Prize.
It is a sharp contrast to 2 years ago when he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for settling Ethiopia's long-time conflict with neighboring Eritrea.
With regard to the conflict with Eritrea, which has lasted for years, we want an end to it, for the common good of our two nations, not only for our benefit, but for both these nations, which have blood ties.
Abiy Ahmed became Prime Minister of Ethiopia in 2018 at just 41 years of age. Born to Christian and Muslim parents, he promoted unity in a country marked by religious and ethnic divisions. He lifted restrictions on the media, released thousands of political prisoners, and appointed women to half his cabinet. The reformer and peacemaker went to war exactly a year ago, sending troops into the northern Tigray region. Since then, thousands of people have been killed and 2.5 million have been displaced. There have been calls for him to return his Nobel Peace Prize.